Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the My Favorite Things tag. So one of my new booktube buddies, Colin, over on his channel, Colin's Corner, he has tagged me in this. Thank you for tagging me, Colin. And I have finally delivered. So I will say with this, I have kind of changed things up a little bit. I've taken some questions out from the original tag and added in some of my own just to put my own spin on it. So this is kind of like my own addition. So without further ado, let's jump into the questions. Question number 1, what music do you appreciate? So I love and appreciate anything that has like tribal drum beats. I love the hand drums. Usually when I am listening to something, I'll automatically gravitate. My ear will just go to the drum and the beat of the drum, and particularly tribal drums. I just love the way they sound, and depending on the type of song it is, what story the song is trying to tell, the emotion that the song is trying to get you to feel and convey, the drums and the tribal drums really play a big part in that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love it so much, is because there are tribal drum beats and particular music that will give me those ASMR type tingles. Anything that contains tribal drums or hand drums. Celtic folk music I like as well because they tell a story. Enough said. I love a good story. Anything with a story. Indie, bluesy type music. I love, like certain indie music I love. And if I sing anything, I love, unless it's a musical. If I were to sing it, I would sing using a more bluesy, raspy type of voice, type of sound. I love that. I love praise and worship music. One group in particular, I found them on YouTube. They are called People and Songs. I highly, highly recommend them. I am a Christian, so when I want to praise and sing to God, this is the group that I listen to, and these are the songs that I sing. Highly recommend them. So yeah, I usually don't listen to a lot of music anymore. It's audiobooks or ASMR related videos. So many people are doing ASMR on YouTube now. So I love exploring different types of sounds and triggers, like good triggers and sounds, and like how different things give me certain sensations and make me feel. So yeah, ASMR and audiobooks are usually what I'm listening to these days. Next question, number 2, what are a few of your favorite films? Okay, so for this one, I included movies and TV shows. One of my favorite TV shows that I'm sure some of you know by now would be Firefly. Now, Firefly only had 1 season because someone canceled it for no good reason. There was absolutely no good reason why this show should have been canceled after 1 season, but I digress. I love Firefly. I could watch Firefly at any time. I don't have to be in the mood for this. I love the characters. I love the storyline. I love it. A second favorite TV show would be Longmire. I love Longmire. Now, this is based off of the novels, which I have not read, and the only reason I haven't tried the novels yet is because I think I read somewhere a while back that it was graphic. And another thing about me is that I don't like watching, listening, or reading things that are graphic or explicit. But the TV show, I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. The Native American culture is a huge part of the storyline in this as well, which I have learned so much about. It's set in Wyoming, so it's a Western themed detective mystery series. Fantastic. Okay, so some of my favorite movies, which I'm pretty sure my number 1 spot would be The Greatest Showman. I hands down love this movie with my whole entire heart. Love it. I love it. Clue. Clue is another one of my favorite movies. I saw this movie when I was a kid. I also loved playing the board games. This is a comedy. They made it into a comedy. It's hilarious. So good. Recommend it if you haven't seen it. The Dead Poet Society with Robin Williams. His character, Mr. Keating, one of my favorite characters of all time. Love it. V for Vendetta. V, another one of my favorite characters of all time. A couple others off the top of my head would be The Sound of Music. I've always loved The Sound of Music. And a couple of these answers, by the way, are going to answer another question that's on this list, so stay tuned for that. All right, for my next favorite. I am not a huge fan of superheroes and Marvel and DC movies. However, Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, one of my favorites, one of my favorite movies of all time. And one of the biggest reasons that I love it in particular is because of the warrior women in this. When I was a little girl, I was not the little girl that wanted to be the princess. I related to and wanted to be the warrior women fighters. I have a warrior woman spirit. I do. I have the spirit of a warrior inside me. When I watch particularly the scenes with the music too, because music that they play when these scenes happen really add to what I'm feeling and what I relate to. Like free, like my spirit wants to just break free, and watching that makes my spirit feel free. And when they're using their swords and spears and weapons, yes. Question number 3, what are some of your hobbies and / or interests? So let's start with hobbies. Hobbies as of right now, one is painting. As you can see, a couple of my friends over my shoulder here. This is actually one of my favorite paintings that I've done so far because it just makes me smile. Like, look at it. Are you not smiling looking at that? Exactly. And also kind of a future endeavor that I would like to pursue. I would like to sell my paintings. I would like to have an online art business at some point. I fell in love with a certain fluid art technique that I want to get into and experiment with, and eventually have an online art business selling my artwork. And particularly my fluid artwork. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, booktube, reading. We know this. Obviously, when you're doing this, it takes over a lot of time. It becomes like the main hobby. So this is my main hobby at the moment, is doing booktube and reading all the things and books and stories. So that's kind of captivating my time and attention right now. I also learning the djembe drum. The djembe is an African drum. I just kind of jump into classes here and there when I can. I love the way that African drum sounds. Okay, so interests. I have a lot of interests. Whether I can do them now, the answer is not always yes. Some things I've done in the past, yes. Weaponry, as I've said before, I'm attracted to it. I'm a warrior woman inside. I have the spirit of a warrior, so I love weaponry. I have practiced weaponry in my life. I have some experience with certain weapons. The art of weaponry is one of my interests. Will I tell you what weapons? No, because I like there to be some mystery behind that. But yes, weaponry is on that list. And I've said before, The Greatest Showman is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's because I am interested in the circus arts, particularly like being an aerialist. And there's a scene in that movie that, again, gives me that feeling of just my spirit being free, I would love to do. I would love to do it. If I had the opportunity, I would do it. It's the song Rewrite the Stars. They are in the middle of like the ring. She's flying around the ring with the rope, the trapeze, like in the hoop circle. You can like move and dance, use your body and dance in certain ways. And I've always loved dance. Dancing is another interest that has been you know, a kind of a thing in my life. Question number 4. What instrument are you learning or want to learn? So I kind of answered that already. I'm sort of learning the djembe drum. like I said, I'm not following a curriculum for that at the moment. I'm not on like some type of schedule. I literally am just hopping into djembe drumming circles classes. When they're called circles, but a djembe drumming circle class when I have the opportunity to, if I can. The instrument that I wanted to learn when I was a kid that I didn't stick with would be the harmonica. Number 5, question number 5. What is your favorite season? That's easy. Fall. Love fall. If it could be fall all year round, I'd be super happy. Question number 6. Who are some of your favorite authors? Okay, so as of right now, I have 2 favorite authors, and that would be Adrienne Young and Trisha Levenseller. If you've seen my other videos, I mention Adrienne Young all the time. I love her writing style and how she tells a story. Atmosphere is a huge part of her storytelling. Trisha Levenseller I love because of her humor. I have picked up her books to just laugh, to, you know, whether I needed a palate cleanser, but if I was in a slump, it will pull you out of a reading slump. I would guarantee it. She's able to write sarcastic humor really well. Question number 7. What is your favorite time of day? Nighttime. I love the evenings. I like to say that I am a moonflower. There are quite a few flowers actually that bloom under moonlight, and I kind of relate to that. Everything's more relaxed at nighttime. I'm not feeling the busyness of people's energies around me during the day, and it just, the daytime, like I love the sun. Okay, I'm not a vampire, people. I feel more creative at night. I'm always painting at night. Also, I've always been attracted to the moon. I love the moon. I love the sounds that accompany nighttime. Like in the summertime, that nostalgic summertime sound in the evening with the crickets and the frogs after a good summer rain. Come on. If you go to my YouTube channel, my banner, if you look at my YouTube banner, it's that nighttime enchanted forest vibe, you know, with like the lantern, reading a story by the lantern or under the moonlight. That is the kind of ambiance and vibe that I love, and it's nighttime. I'm a moonflower. Question number 8. What are some of your favorite musicals? Okay, so The Greatest Showman, my favorite movie and my favorite musical. That answers that. Also, my favorite classic musical would be The Sound of Music. Yeah, those are my 2 favorite musicals of all time. I love it. The Sound of Music, I mean, with that one in particular, I love because of the environment. It's beautiful. The mountains, and they like being on the lake, that lake. It's just gorgeous. And the music in that is just amazing. The storyline, it's just so well done. You cannot go wrong with The Sound of Music. It's so good. All right, question number 9. What is a fun fact about you? When I was a teenager, I did something called capoeira. Now, for those of you who don't know, capoeira is a Brazilian dance fighting martial art. I will spell that for you. I will put that up here for you to go look that up if you don't know what that looks like, because dance fighting is the best way to describe capoeira. Another fun fact would be I did acrobatics. Again, you see the theme of like the circus type of arts, but like partner acrobatics, acro, a lot of people call it acro. That's just another little fun fact. Question number 10. What are some of your favorite tropes? Okay, so I actually chose 2 tropes that are my favorite for this one. One of my favorite tropes would be found family. I love, love, love the found family trope. It just gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling of just contentment and happiness. It puts a smile on my face. Second trope that I love reading about would be animal companions. Because I love animals. I love animals. All animals I love, especially like painting. I haven't painted a lot of animals, but I'm in the mood to start painting more animals. That's kind of like on my list to continue. So when I read stories that have animal companions, it kind of sells me on it immediately. All right, question number 11. If you lived in a fantasy world, what would be your superpower? Question 10 kind of leads into this with the animal companions. My superpower that I would choose in a fantasy world would be animal bonds. I would love to be able to bond with any and every animal and fantasy animal and take on their power and ability. Think about that. I mean, what? Think about it. Think about being able to bond with any creature and whatever power and ability they possess, you can possess it as well. And you can speak to them and talk to them. So not only are you getting different abilities with different creatures, you're taking on different creatures' thoughts as well, how they think. You can create this communication system with the animals. If you were ever in need, to be able to communicate with any and all the creatures around you, yes, I think that'd be an awesome superpower. And that's something that I don't hear people, I've never heard someone else say that as an answer. A lot of people will say flying. That's such a, I know like flying would be amazing, but I was like, no, really think about it. What would be in a fantasy world anyway? What would be a superpower that would be completely different and amazing that no one really would think about to have? And I think, so that's my answer. I would really love to have that superpower of animal bonds. And final question, question number 12. Do you have shelf control? So, you can't see my entire bookshelf right now, but the answer would be yes. I have shelf control. I mean, my bookshelf is in the infancy stage right now. I do not have a lot on my bookshelf right now. It has to be considered shelf worthy to me if I were to purchase a book. The book has to be one of my favorites, which means I have to have already read it. I will not buy a book that I haven't read. If it's a favorite, I want it. I want it on my shelf because it's just like anything else. I'll never get sick of it, and it's satisfying to look at like a piece of art. Like, I own it. It's one of my favorite stories. That's what makes it shelf worthy. Also, I have another rule that I will not purchase a book if it's more than $10. Like, it has to be like a really good exception for me to break that rule. If it's a special edition that I found at a really good price and it's one of my favorites in a special edition, then I will obviously get it. A lot of what's on my shelf right now, I either bought myself on sale for $10 or less, or they were gifted to me. And a lot of the books that I have on my shelf right now were gifted to me. And I do have a few that I haven't read yet because my best friend gifted them to me, and they were ones that we had on our TBR. And she, at least at the time, she didn't have any shelf control. So we made a TBR list, and if she saw it for like $1 or $2, it was like buying it because it's just the simple fact that it's below $5. I won't even do that. I will not do that. If I have a book on my TBR and I come across it and it's really cheap, I still won't buy it. I still won't do it because I don't know if I will like it. And if I don't like it, now I have to get rid of it, or like try and give it away, get rid of it. Now it's taking up space. Like, no. 2 rules. First rule is, if a book goes on my shelf, it has to be shelf worthy, which means it has to be one of my favorites, and it's gifted to me by someone. And the second rule would be, if I purchase a book myself, price has to be $10 or less. Of course, the only exception to that being if it's a special edition of one of my favorite books, and it's at a lower cost than what the original special edition was going for. If I find a really good deal, I'm not going to pass that up, but those are my 2 rules. Hey, so this is my editing self, here to say that I realized I completely forgot to tag people for this. I have several people that I want to tag to do this one. Caleb over on his channel, Celebrity, Trinity from Portable Magic, Ellen, her channel is her name, Ellen Onida, Annie from Annie's Book Collection, and Bobby, aka Paginator. So I tag all of you amazing, special, wonderful, bookish people to do this. If you do decide that you're going to do this tag, please tag me. That way I can be sure to watch your video and see what kind of answers that you have. Okay, that is the end of my favorite things tag. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me that thumbs up. Hit subscribe so you know every single time that I upload a new video. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.